Hello everyone, so in the first video I'm trying to teach you guys how to solve the problem about in the highway choice. So what should be the market equilibrium and what should be the social optimal. So how we do this kind of questions. Before that, let's start with a simple example. Okay, so as you can see in your homework, there is a similar question about how we choose what is social optimum, what is the market equilibrium. So we start with this, and then we can jump to the more difficult version. Okay, so if you want, you can just take a screenshot about this two figure tables. So figure 1 means what is the alternative cost for 3 commuters, potential commuters on the highway. By giving this table, we assume that there are only 3 people using the highway or in the market. Okay. So figure 2 is what should be the average cost for freeway users, given that there are only 1 user, 2 users, and all the 3 users on the highway. Okay. So these are the questions. First, we need to understand what kind of thing we are talking about. So we are talking about one thing is called freeway choice. Freeway choice, okay. So given the question is we are discussing about freeway choice, then we need to first analyze what is the market. So if you are using freeway, then what the other side of the market? For example, when you are talking about the demand and supply of something, demand and supply of something. So we first need to know that this is the demand and supply table only focusing on freeway. Then what should be the demand for freeway users and what should be the supply of freeway users? So first, let's think about the simpler side in this question. The simple side of this question is supply side. So thinking back about the microeconomics or ICO 108, the introduction to economics, when we are introducing or when we are learning about the supply side of the market, we always think about the cost. Okay, so the supply side of freeway users, we are going to use 2 curves to represent that. So first curve is average cost. Okay. And second curve is marginal cost. We call it MC. Okay. Then what's the difference between these two? Whenever we are talking about the market equilibrium, we are talking about the decision with respect to average. Whenever we want to talk about the social optimum, or social optimal, we are talking about marginal. So what's the difference? Let me give you an example. Imagine there are 100 cars on the highway. So if everyone is, so if one guy, so in the 49th position, so if this guy is playing his cell phone and forgot to move on. Okay, he's going to delay for 1 minute, right? Let's assume he's going to delay for 1 minute. So the first 48 guys will not be affected by him because he's in the 49th position. But the rest of the 51 person from the 50th to the 100 person, or to the 99 person, does not matter, will all be affected by the 49th guy's 1 minute delay. So in total, he's going to delay how much on average for the rest of the 50 guys? 1 minute each person, right? We all have this life experience. If the guy before is going to delay for 1 minute, so every guy that is behind him is going to be delayed for 1 minute. But together, the market will be delayed by the 49th guy by how much? Is 50 or 51 multiply this 1 minute. Okay. Then here, let me ask you a question. What is the marginal cost and what is the average cost generated by this 49th person's 1 minute delay on playing cell phone? So the answer is the average delay for the rest of the 50 guys is 1 minute each. That's average, right? 1 minute each. But what is the marginal delay caused by this? What does it mean? Let's remember what is the marginal, the meaning of marginal. The meaning of marginal is by adding one extra person or one extra unit or one extra unit of usage of something, how much more quantity it will raise up or it will lose. So here, by the 1 minute delayed by the 49th guy, how much more delay in total of the society will he give is this number, 51 or 50. Then we understand what it means, because every person is rational and we can say it's self-interest. He will never care about the rest of the 50 guys. He only care about himself. He only care about, okay, so I'm going to have 1 minute more delay by myself. But the whole society, which will be considered by the government or by everybody together, means that, okay, by this 1 minute delay, everybody is going to, so we all together is going to lose 15 minutes. Then that's the difference. So that's why when we are talking about market equilibrium, means everybody only think about themselves. That's equilibrium means, right? So self-interest. Okay. Everybody is going to think about themselves is average. So when we talk about social, we talk about marginal. So that's how we can distinguish the two costs in an easy way. Okay, so let's go back. So in our graph, we need to think about the supply side. The supply side of the freeway using will be given by two cost curves. The first one is called average cost. Average cost curve will just describe market equilibrium condition. And the second curve, marginal cost, will describe about the social optimal case. Okay. First, we need to figure this out. That's from the supply side. Okay. And let's keep them in mind and look back into the table. So in the question, you are asked, what is the market equilibrium and what is social optimum. So by given the table, you are always given average cost. Now, how we can calculate the marginal cost, because we need both. We need both the market equilibrium situation and the social optimum situation. Okay, this is market equilibrium. This is social optimum. Because we are handling the questions by answering the discrete case, means we don't have continuous numbers. So here, don't try to use any calculus or integration. We can only try to calculate this by simple multiplication. Okay. Let's see. So if there is only one person on the freeway, given that the average cost by this person is $2, then we calculate the total cost of this one freeway user, okay, which is 1 multiplied $2 is 2. Similarly, if we have 2 people on the freeway, then you can observe that the average cost by using freeway of 2 people will be 2 multiplied $5, which is 10. Okay. So if everybody is on the freeway, then we can see the freeway becomes super crowded, and the total cost of using freeway will be $27. Now, what is the marginal cost? Marginal cost means by adding extra 1 user of using the freeway, how much more cost it will bring. Okay, so this one, we before we have 1 user on the freeway, we have 0 user, like nobody use the freeway. Of course, the marginal cost will be $2 minus 0, which will be 2. Okay. Similarly, if we have 2 people on the freeway, the marginal cost will be brought by the extra 1 person. Then we just need to use 10 minus 2, which will be $8. And then the marginal cost for the 3rd user adding to the freeway will be 27 minus 10, which will be 17. By having the marginal cost and average cost, then we can draw this curve. But since we only have 3 points, we do not need to draw this curve. So that is the supply side. The next video, we are going to introduce the demand side.